I'm Philip John Neimark, the founder of IFA Foundation International. I'd like to welcome you to one more iteration of the weekly ifascope. The weekly ifascope, of course, is an up-close, in-depth look at the events which have happened to you this weekend or this coming week, and more important, how you can deal with these events. You see, when we do a reading like this, and it encompasses hundreds, if not thousands, of people who come to check out our ifascope, it would be impossible to delineate each and every event. Some people are going to get the girl, some are going to get the boy, some are going to get the job, some are going to lose the job, some are going to be ill, some are going to be healthy, etc., etc. So that has to be done on an individual basis, which we do. But we found it quite advantageous in the weekly ifascope with almost 40 years of experience to see what Orunmila would do faced with a myriad of different options and different occurrences in your daily life. One thing I'll tell you for sure is he was not going to tell you to give it your knee-jerk response, to automatically decide what it is you want it to be or to say, or you're afraid or you're not afraid, or you're hopeful or whatever. Because for thousands of years, Orunmila has been following all of the people, all of their responses, and has seen which will be the best response. And being as it's my job to, navigate you through this as easily as possible, I strongly suggest that you pay attention to Orunmila's, thinking here and observations, and set your own aside for the time being. Another couple of things I wanted to discuss before we started, that is, one, my wife Vasa points out how people are always saying, hey, why do you have this in your desk, or why is there that, or I would hope that people would pay attention to my words and not be paying attention to what's on my desk or not on my desk, or whether my drawers are closed or not. I mean, that's that's kind of superfluous. And for what it's worth, one day I'm going to go through my desk and show you the beautiful African pieces that I have, and show you what my art is, etc., etc. But for now, let's just deal with the ifascope. The second thing is that it seems amazing to me that all of you are not going to the WebEx presentations on Wednesday night. They're free. They cost nothing. There's no catch. There's nothing involved in it. But what they do is, if you have a camera, or if you have a microphone, or if you just want to listen, they present you with the most honest truth about what's going on in IFA today. Not just my truth or Iavasa's truth, or people who she has in to help her, but everybody's truth. She gets people talking, and she gets people to express their fears and their anxieties and their hopes and their results and how they did it. And she does this in a 100 different ways, but she does it each and every week, and it really is it's astonishing to me. I mean, it's not as if they're not crowded to begin with, but it just seems to me that this absence about how you could want to see the ifascope, see what we're going to do, and yet not understand in our terms why you're doing it or how to do it. So if you want to do it, all you have to do is drop Vasa one line, get the address off of our website, ifafoundation.org, and send her a note. Say, hey, I'd just like to watch, or I'd like to be part of next week's presentation, and could you please pencil me in for that? If you like it, you've got a seat. It's reserved for you. And if you don't like it, well, we could say something's the matter with you, or we could say, you're not ready for it at this point in time. So at any rate, this week the energy comes Osa Gunda, from one set of balances to the other. Osa, of course, is telling us that we must initiate sudden positive change, or sudden change to our lives. And Ogunda, on the opposite side of the menu, is suggesting that we have to not be deferred, not be distracted, not be pulled away from, not leave our work, our ability to get things done. How we must, treasure that which we do. Treat it with respect, and it will treat us with respect. And, unfortunately, it comes like this, when it should be like this. We'll make it like this. Don't worry about it. And don't write me about this ring or that ring, please. But the idea is, one, to understand and to learn from the process of getting on path, of becoming a ray, and next time, under similar circumstances, see whether or not we will be a ray. It's a lot easier that way, but this is how it's going to work it out. The energy comes EB, by the way, up with OB on the temporal side, and that's telling you that the universe is sending you possibilities. All kinds of possibilities, good ones and bad ones. All right? It's up to you to make that decision. But you have to use those to solve the issues. You have to use that to understand what the sudden change is. And on the other side, it's about sudden positive change. It's saying, wait a minute, loosen up a little. This requires sudden change, and it's going to surprise you where, we're going to see that come from. The likely impact of this is going to be in our destiny. That's one we do not want to, be off path in. And it's Obiobara. It's telling us that we're not indeed taking advantage of these opportunities or these things, or we're making incorrect decisions. We're choosing things which are short-term in nature, things which we're not going to make you or me or our families or loved ones happier or better off. So, the best energy, by the way, for this is going to be Ofun Awami. It's Ofun, which is use your wisdom and knowledge to figure out which are the best opportunities for you, where the best lies, for you, and then your problems waterfall away. So it's worth doing, that's for sure. But the kicker here is that the Ibo has to be to our ancestors. What does that have to do with it? I'm not sure. I'm always, quite honest with you. But it's suggesting, I think, that we're not paying enough attention. We're not giving the credence to our ancestors. We're not learning or passing on their knowledge to ours, and that is going to, if we don't correct it, cost us, some real currency. So what we want to do is we want to offer oil to our ancestors. Very simple. You take the oil, and by the way, it could be peanut oil, it could be, you know, any kind of oil that you would like. I mean, there's so many kinds of oil, you know, for you to, you know, deal with. And there's no best oil. Malinatico, you know, I don't use it because it can get all over you, and it's just impossible to get out of your clothing. And I tend to use olive oil most of the time, pure olive oil, because it's clean and it makes for an easy way. But whatever your, you know, decision there is, use that. If you're more comfortable with, you know, flaxseed oil, use flaxseed oil. And if you're not, don't. So you want to take down your ancestors, or go up to your ancestor altar. Your ancestor altar, by the way, should have a single candle, one candle, not, you know, 7. Ancestors have been around a great deal longer than, you know, Catholicism, so please don't go there. Take a small container of oil and place it in front of your ancestors, and then say each ancestor by name 3 times. Do it from the closest to you. For instance, it's my mother and father, to my father Mortimer Neimark, my mother Hortense Neimark, my son Adam Neimark, all the way to those I do not know but whose blood flows through my veins. And ask our ancestors to give us the insight, the means, the character, the good character of picking the right decisions, of listening to our ancestors, of beginning a greater discourse with our ancestors, of beginning a greater amount of understanding, a greater amount of questions, a greater amount of answers, of listening to those come into us. And pretty soon it becomes part of who we are. And then pretty soon we're not going to have to do this, because it's going to add up just like that. Until next time, love and blessings.